Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Tyler Watkins, and this is
John Paul Daniel Sadkin de la Garza the third.
The third. Hopefully it stops there, maybe. Okay, that was fun.
Yeah, it stops there.
So this is a podcast where we're going to talk about what it was like getting sober young in the many areas of recovery that we've experienced. John and I have both been sober for over 7 years as of today, which is May 1st of 2022. And man, look, here's the deal. John and I obviously have seen a need for, what would you call it? Just more. I don't want to say like resources, but we need to educate people on what the reality of the young crowd is going through.
Yeah, like I feel like there are a lot of justifications and or reasons on why young people consider themselves to not be drug addicts or alcoholics, but they are. And so like part of that education is just letting people know what it means to be a drug addict and alcoholic, even though you might be young. And also, you know, I guess a part of that too is to help families.
Well, yeah, and not only that, but not only enlightening people on what it looks like to be a drug addict, alcoholic at a young age, but also what it looks like to get sober.
Yes.
Right. I mean, I think that was probably one of the first things when I went to like an AA meeting at 17. I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? There's like a bunch of old people. They're talking about spiritual experiences. I'm like, man, this is way out of my league, dude.
Yep. No, yeah. The lingo was one. I didn't know the lingo at all.
So like not like spiritual experiences.
Yep.
Never heard of that.
Yep.
Ever.
And then also like quite literally being like 3 decades younger than everybody else in some of these meetings.
Yeah. So a big reason why we're doing this is to not only just bring some light onto the reality of the situation, which is that I would say the age of people that could qualify themselves as drug addicts and alcoholics, whether they're aware of it or not, is just getting younger and younger by the year. Right? I mean, we're going from 20 to 17 to now like 4. Dude, I've talked to some 13, 14-year-olds and they are whipped.
Yep. It sounded like a door was opening.
Yeah.
Is somebody pulling a beanie?
I don't know. It would be bad under our time, right?
It would be bad. Yeah, it'd be bad for them though. We got TikTok Live going.
Oh yeah, what's up TikTok
What's
Live?
up TikTok?
Hey, if you guys don't follow me on TikTok, it's @_TYELUR. Tell them, is it good?
Yes, Tyler's name is spelled weird, but it is actually phenomenal.
Hold on. Let me talk about something really quick. My one name is spelled weird. Would I rather have one name spelled weird or 7 different names? Does it even fit on your driver's license?
Yes, it does.
Hell yeah. Anyways, back to what
I remember the first time like I had to write my full name and I didn't. I was pretty young.
Your hand started cramping?
Yeah, I started cramping, but I got winded. No, I didn't know how to spell Daniel because I just never spelled it.
Oh my god!
Like dude. Paul was easy enough, but Daniel I was like I knew DAN, but I didn't know like where the E or the I went.
6 letters compared to 4 is real tough.
Yeah, it was real tough, real hard.
So, anyways, this is definitely for the young crowd as well. If they wanted to follow along with whatever we're talking about, I mean, we're going to be talking about a whole lot of stuff. John and I have a ton of experience in recovery. We have a ton of experience in drug addiction and alcoholism, full blown. So we feel absolutely qualified to be a resource of whatever that means. Support, information, maybe smashing some stereotypes.
Yeah, I would say smashing stereotypes, and just really giving a good, accurate representation of what it looks like to
get fucking sober young, dude, because it is tight. Like, I don't know. It is so cool for me.
No, I mean, like, what I tell people all the time is, like, because I got sober at 17 and I've stayed sober, it's like that tells you something,
dude.
I typically say, like, if this life wasn't significantly better than that old way of living, then I wouldn't still be here.
Absolutely.
Like, I didn't lose anything like I thought I was,
You know what's really funny, too, is, like, whenever we got sober, we heard it all the times, around the rooms and in sober living. I mean, just the people we met, they're like, man, I wish I got it that young. It's like, oh, man, you have your whole life ahead of you. And I'm like, okay, cool. And now, like 7 years later, at 25, I'm like, dude, they were fucking right.
They were absolutely right.
They were right. This is badass. Like, and I'm like, yo, because I remember like meeting people and I'm like, dude, yeah, you got 2 years sober and you're like 25. Man, that's awesome. And now I'm like 7 years sober at 25, and I'm like, dude, this is like this is legit. This is legit. Like, and we do like a bunch of cool stuff. I mean, okay, so one of the things. Well, I guess we shouldn't get too off track with the direction we're going, but yeah, smashing stereotypes.
Yep.
Because this shit's freaking cool.
100%.
And it's like, here's the deal. It's like, the truth is like, I had no idea what it was going to look like. The other truth is I did not care. Like, if I had any hesitation to get sober, there were some reservations there. Whatever that was. I still want to drink. I still want to get fucked up. I mean, you name it.
Yeah.
Right.
So whenever you say you do not care, what you're saying is like, I don't care what happens afterward. I just can't keep doing this.
Exactly. Okay. Like, I don't know what the next steps are, but what I do know is that I'm sitting on a fire, and it is burning it is burning me. And so I knew that I had to get up out of there, and that's all. But that wasn't the case the very first time. The very first time I got sober and like got put into residential treatment, it was like, I get that I have a problem. I'm not really into this whole sobriety thing. What am I going to do? Which is a very that's a good question to ask.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? All I've done is drugs and alcohol. Like we were talking about the other time, it's my source. What does it look like? And so like going to do stuff like this, going to, I don't know, treatment centers or just talking to people, helping people get sober. It's like that accurate representation of like, here's what we are going to do. And it's going to be badass.
Yeah, it's going to be badass. It's going to be gnarly. And you're going to have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah. Didn't think about it.
Yeah, didn't think it was going to be fun at all.
Dude, okay, and here's the other thing too. I grew up differently. Okay, so, I grew up with a curfew. I grew up with I had to be home at a certain time on the weekdays. I got driven everywhere. My dad waited for me at the skate park. Like, I was pretty monitored, I would say, right, at all times. My friends weren't, a lot of my friends weren't. Let's take a look at Lee.
Our boy.
Lee, our boy, right? Lee did whatever he wanted to, man. It was totally cool. And all my friends over there too, like, it wasn't, their parents weren't like, hey, what are you doing? It's 12 o'clock on a Tuesday. Come home, right? Whereas like my parents were like, you got to be home by like 8 o'clock, or whatever, and I was. So whenever I got sober, and obviously we had a sober house curfew, but I could do whatever I wanted to. Having that freedom to actually just go experience what's been in front of me this whole time, like going and playing basketball with you when you would tackle me on the court, on the cement court, stuff like that was fun. Or like taking the car and going to Taco Bell just because we can, like that.
Just because we can.
Just because
no reason at all.
No freaking reason. Like, it was one of those things for me getting sober. That was like, and obviously we were adults too. I mean, legally, right?
Yeah, legally we were adults.
Legally we were adults. And so like going out to Taco Bell or just going to the 360 Overlook and just hanging out, like just being able to go do that and go experience that was the start. And it was more than enough. It was more than enough to be like, wow, this feels, I don't know, liberating, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, like, I would say, like, just the ability to hang out with someone or someone's, and, like, it's not, like, a constant state of anxiety and worry.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, whenever I was out there running the gun, and it was, like, if I was hanging out with you, I either wanted something from you or you wanted something from me. And then I get sober at a young age. I'm checking into sober living, and I meet other, young guys, that like literally we just all wanted to go and have a good time together.
Yeah.
And like whatever that meant was whatever that meant depending on the day. We'd go to the pool hall, go to Corpus Christi on that whim,
Man, what a time.
Yeah, one day we were gonna go to Mexico. Thank God. Luckily somebody didn't have a passport.
Jackson.
Krampus. Turns out you can go to Mexico without a passport. You just can't come back. Yeah. That'd have been a big old L.
I don't know a lot about Mexico, but I don't think you would have made it.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, especially the fraud. It's like you're not even Mexican.
The fraud.
Yeah, you're a fraud, dude.
Oh, a fraud.
Yeah. You're not Mexican.
Yeah, I'm Spanish. Which I learned.
And you don't know any
at like
Spanish.
20. Hey. I know. I know.
You wouldn't make it.
No,
and Jackson definitely.
No habla español.
I think it's hablo.
No habla.
Hablo.
Te amo.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. So I know what's really funny too is as you say that, just being able to go do things right on a whim whenever I was in drug addiction. And I don't know, let's say like I just walked out of my house because I didn't care anymore, you know, and it was like 1 o'clock on a Tuesday. And of course I was getting, you know, high and stuff, but like just for the first time I was finally able to like literally just make decisions for myself, whatever that meant. It obviously wasn't any good decisions.
Nope.
But it was so funny. I guess I was probably 16, maybe 15. My dad would probably know a little bit more whenever I started being a little shit, you know. But you know, it was like, hey, guess what? You can like lock the door or lock the windows, put bars up. Like I'm just gonna walk out of the house. And whenever I started making those kinds of decisions, is whenever I started experiencing like, oh, I can just continue to make decisions like this and get what I want. You know, and so it's like coming into sobriety, coming into recovery, and I don't know, making those decisions to go do whatever, right? And obviously in a more healthy manner. It's like it was totally different. But yet I still experience that same type of, I don't know, independence, freedom. I don't know. It was one of those things that I really looked forward to.
I would honestly say
just doing like, whatever I wanted.
Much more independent. Like whenever it came to drugs and alcohol and like leaving the house at like whatever time, it was like because I was dictated to. Like I needed to go get high. And there wasn't like I had fun, you know, like riding my bike 20 miles to go do whatever the hell, you know. But as soon as I got sober, and you know, I got introduced to a solution to my problems and stuff, and like I was able to do stuff because I honestly wanted to, you know, not because I felt this burning, you know, desire to go, you know, get high or get drunk. Does that make sense? Yeah.
What a time, man, getting sober at a young age. Yeah.